Hello YouTube! Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. I'm going to tell you everything you want to know about Wataru Endo. Oh, and a quick one for all the journalists struggling to say his name, it's not Wataru Endo. Wataru. It's Japanese Wataru. The Ru is a weird combination between Lu and Ru. Wataru Endo. So E-N and then Do. Endo. Our very own Captain Tsubasa. Coming to Merseyside. One of the perks of living in Japan is you get really cool stuff like this, by the way. Speaking of which, I bought a whole bunch of merch I'm going to be changing into throughout the video. Don't mind me, 50% off, 28 quid. So one of the key things about this signing of Wataru Endo is he is predominantly a defensive midfield player. He absolutely bossed the midfield of Stuttgart. He was the one, the centerpiece. The world revolved around him. He is a destroyer. He is aggressive. He is tenacious. For someone so small as well, he is absolutely elite in the air. He takes no prisoners. He goes straight through the player. The one thing that really strikes out about Endo, he is versatile. Not only is he a central defensive midfield player, he can slot into centre back, predominantly on the left side of centre back, so backup for Van Dijk as well. And he does it very comfortably as well. I think he actually started his career as a centre back. He can do the full-back role on both sides as well. He's more of a steady Eddie. He'll always give you at least a 7 or 8 out of 10. He's one of those kind of names on the team sheet that you never worry that he's there. He's always a cog in the vital machine that makes the system work. So basically, when you see his name on the team sheet, you don't need to worry. He'll give it his all and he'll always perform. I mean, yeah, Endo is class for anyone who's followed his career. And here's one thing that I've heard the Liverpool fan base be very wary about, the fact that he's 30 years old, perhaps coming towards the latter part of his career. But actually, for a defensive midfield player, having experience is actually very vital. You have the composure in the middle to know what to do, the decision-making aspect of it. You've seen it all, you've done it all, you've got that kind of 360 vision. One thing that's very important to note that the many people have actually missed out on is managers like Conte and Mourinho who want to win things in the current season. They prefer the older players, 29, 30, 31. I know as Liverpool fans we have this mindset on potential and Klopp bringing out the best of people and a resale value, but we're not the accountants. All we want to do is perform in this season and win in this season. The German Bundesliga style is very similar to the English Premier League style. It's not like La Liga, it's not like Serie A. I would say stylistically the Bundesliga is the most similar to the Premier League, maybe a hybrid between the Championship and the Premier League, but physicality, speed, counter-attack, it's all there. Endo has been one of the top performing defensive midfield players in the Bundesliga ever since he arrived at Stuttgart. Imagine an Asian Japanese player coming to the German league and becoming the captain. You only do that through quality, through graft, through leadership qualities, and he has them all in abundance. Speaking of leadership qualities, there's a reason why he'll be a big success compared to Takumi Minamino. Taki is a nice lad, he's a lovely lad, a shy lad. If Klopp were to ask him anything, he'd go, "Hi, hi, hi." But Endo is a bit of a badass. He's known for that back in Japan. He will take no shiz from nobody. If Klopp shouts him or something, he'll be like, "Nani?" And he'll go like, "Ah, tensai." He knows, yeah. No, he won't do that really, but really, Endo takes no prisoners. If Van Dijk were to give him a bad pass, he'll be all up in his face. "Fuzukenna, nani sorea? Gambare Van Dijk, gambare!" You know, he just wants to win. He's a winner. Probably why he's the captain of Stuttgart, captain of Japan as well, right? He raises everyone's game around him. He encourages people. I think his grasp of English is not bad as well. I've seen him do an interview or two in English. Basically, he's a winner. He's got that mentality. He doesn't take any crap when he doesn't care who you are in your own team or the opposition. Literally, he'll haunt the opposition playmaker, the number 10, anyone that roams in his kind of remit in his area. He'll haunt them on the pitch and in their dreams because he's a pest. He's tenacious. He's aggressive. He goes right in there. He'll kick the shins. He'll kick the crap out of you. He won't let anyone pass. But the big difference between him and defensive midfielders like De Crore, Lavia, Caicedo, even Kefren Turam, they're of the physical, they've got that physicality, they've got the aggressive, they've got the build, right? But Endo, he has the aggressiveness in him, but he's also got that technical quality as well. If you look at defensive midfield players like De Crore and Sangare is a prime example, he's a monster. He demolishes people, those long legs, reminds me a bit of Momo Sissoko, you know. But in terms of on the ball, he's a bit Bambi on ice, hesitant to say, a little bit like, he's not really like Traore, but he hasn't got that composure, that kind of finesse, that silkiness on the ball. But when you see Endo run with the ball, he's got the techers. He's a little bit more like Mac Allister. On the turn, low centre of gravity, ball's glued to his feet, he can kind of sidestep, he can go either direction, a little bit like Thiago. He hasn't got the ball playing skills of Thiago, but he keeps it simple, and that's his job really, because Mac Allister and Szoboszlai are the ones who are going to do the progressive passes with the ball. But the fact that Endo can turn on a sixpence, he's the one that you're going to have receiving the ball similar to Bajcetic, Thiago, Mac Allister, Curtis Jones to some extent, and Endo. They're the ones who Alisson can play the ball out from the back and be confident that they're kind of press resistance, and they're going to retain the ball and keep the ball moving, keep the ball flowing. And obviously his role is to break up the play and give it to players as well. And some of the players we've been linked with, like Lavia, great athlete, great technical prowess, but not that great in the air. Was Endo, for 5'10", he's actually really strong in the air. I think there's some statistic where he is the greatest ball winner in the air, aerially, in the centre third in the Bundesliga for the last 3 seasons or something like that. I think Squawker or someone did some statistics, but we knew that already when we watched the international matches. He is the biggest reason I think that Japan won through Germany and Spain, those kind of big wins over the big national teams. He's played against the top level players, and as a Japanese player, you always know he's going to give 100% kind of gambare samurai spirit attitude. But really, there's a big factor here. It was his dream to move to the English Premier League. Maybe not Liverpool specifically, but he wants to come to Liverpool. Players like Sofian Amrabat flirted with Atletico Madrid, wants to kind of maybe play in the La Liga, or somewhere that kind of suits his kind of personality or mindset coming towards the end of his career as well. Had a great World Cup, but this guy wants to play in Liverpool, and it's his kind of greatest chance to win the biggest prizes: Premier League, Europa League this season, hopefully Champions League next season, FA Cup. The big kind of famous prizes, they mean a lot to someone coming from Japan, because this is what we watch on TV, right? This is what we're into all the time. We watch it on Spot TV, Spot V, something like that. App's not bad, by the way. Commentators are so funny. They're like, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so another reason that Endo, we know that he's going to be a fan favourite, kind of little talisman in the middle, a kind of little memento player, maybe even a cult hero like Origi, is the fact that Stuttgart fans are devastated to lose him. He is their soul, their passionate character, which is so funny for, a little Asian guy coming to the German league, because some proper hench big players there. But he's got that personality. I mean, like, for Japanese players, you think they've got this kind of build, right? Kind of skinny, long leg, little fashionable. This is from Persona 3, by the way. But in his mind, and in the minds of his teammates, Endo thinks he looks like this. He's like proper boss man. He will absolutely cleave and scythe through anyone. He is a hard nut. He is an absolute hard nut, and we love him for that, because not all Japanese players have that kind of imposing characteristic nature. I mean, Tomiyasu is a bit of a beast. He can play along the back line. He would have been a good signing as well for Liverpool. But then you've got more kind of silky flair players like your Kagawa, your Minamino, Mitoma in Brighton. And we'll come to Mitoma as well, because the Japanese connection started with Minamino. Obviously built up a huge fan base here. We loved him. It's great, The composure was always there. As a Japanese player, the composure is something that stands out. Endo can finish as well, right? In the final third, he's not rushed. He's not like Sissoko, where Van Dijk knows that if he shifts Son out wide, Sissoko running onto the ball, he's going to miss it, left foot, no chance, Alisson will save it anyway. Endo can finish, and he's two-footed. He's good with both feet as well, and he can go both directions. He can do the Thiago turn on both directions, that kind of silky silhouette shuffle. Additionally, players will want to come to Liverpool. You build up that kind of fan base for not just the current generation, but the future generations as well, wearing that kind of red jersey. Growing that fan base internationally is super important, not just because it's lucrative as well. Actually, our official shop, I think it's called like Scammo or something, is closing down, unfortunately. That's where I'm getting all these goodies from. Scammo. Anyway, yeah, so, I mean, we're nearly 30 strong members in the Miyazaki Japan fan club, and I'm sure there's over 200, maybe over 500 members, at least officially signed, in all of Japan. In terms of the actual fan base, you're talking thousands and thousands of fans that we haven't uncovered yet, but eventually I'll get through them all. And that just means that the brightest and most talented Japanese talent will eventually make their way, I guess, in the Premier League, and hopefully Liverpool will be their destination of choice. Of course, if Liverpool make a bid or interested in the player. But that says a lot of things. And Endo is a young 30 years old. He's still got the energy. Last season might have been one of his best seasons ever. The passing went a bit awry sometimes, but actually, you know, Stuttgart, they're not the best team in Bundesliga, but he really stood out. If you were to make a Bundesliga winning 11 team for, you know, the past few seasons, he would have his place in defensive midfield, maybe next to Kimmich or someone like that. He wouldn't look out of place. He is a quality technical player. And speaking of which, availability, he's never injured. You need that. You need that in a squad. Someone who's always available, always willing to do a job. He won't mind coming off the bench. He just wants to win. He's got a winner's mentality. He just wants to win. And I think when he does kind of embed his place into the Liverpool team, whether it's the starting 11 or off the bench, he'll be a player you'll notice that's missed when he's not available, because you're looking at your kind of Wijnaldums, your Nicky Butts, unfortunately, Park Ji-sungs, your Conor Gallaghers, even your Jordan Hendersons. This kind of presence, right? They're never the star name in that midfield. Gilberto Silva, but they always have a role. You know, Emerson of Inter Milan as well. These guys take the pressure off the team. They're a reliable water carrier like Didier Deschamps. They make the team tick. They get the ball off the opposition, distribute it to the right places, shield against counter-attacks. They're always the presence. The one person that you know will always be that last line of defence before the ball is really rampaging on your goal, before the back line, and, you know, obviously Alisson. Japan flag. One potential negative I can see, and it's just a joke, bit of a joke really, but I hope Ibu can keep his concentration, because a Japan national coming to Liverpool team, half-time Ibu's going to be all like, nah, what's the latest anime coming out? Shingeki no Kyojin, Attack on Titan, final season, spoilers, what you're going to, you know, all that kind of stuff. And Endo's probably like, focus on the game, man, we gotta win. And Ibu's like, alright. Yeah. And there's a few things that give me a lot of confidence in this deal. Jurgen Klopp follows the Bundesliga. I think he likes Stuttgart as well. He will know all about Endo, what Endo can do, how Endo has played, how Endo will fit into his system. Okay, we don't have a player like Endo in the squad at the moment, but the good thing is, Endo, as a defensive-minded midfielder, will free up Mac Allister, Szoboszlai, Elliott, Curtis Jones to do their stuff in front of him. But if you think about it, Curtis Jones, having played defensive midfield for the England under-21s, Harvey Elliott, who's very good at pressing as well, Thiago, who can do a bit of everything, but he's more the kind of tempo maestro at the base of the midfield. Mac Allister, hustle and bustle, which is why he played at the number 6 against Chelsea, because he's reliable. He's got a dog in him, the fight in him, as does Endo. Szoboszlai actually is very good at pressing. He's a supreme athlete as well, but he's obviously the more offensive-minded of those at that midfield batch. Obviously, Bajcetic is coming back as well. He'll be alongside Endo, that kind of defensive fulcrum. It'll give it kind of Stefan a chance to develop, really, because Endo, being experienced head, will obviously come in when needed. But think of those cups, right? When you do the League Cup, when you do the FA Cup, you need that leadership quality in there. And leadership is a very important attribute. He keeps the standards high expectations of everyone, and he'll lead by example. He'll never stop running, and he'll always give everything for the cause. And having him in amongst the youngsters and to kind of progress us through those stages, it's only going to be a good thing. We could have another Japanese cup hero right there, like Minamino, right? And you saw the effect. An experienced, steady head, obviously Champions League winner, major, multiple honour winner, Casemiro had a Manchester United. He literally elevated him into that top 4 position. Made a big difference, right? And that's what Endo can do as well. He may not be stylistically, you know, the big, all-encompassing winner that Casemiro was, but he knows how to play the role. He's experienced. He's been on a big stage as well, World Cup with Japan, Bundesliga, as I mentioned, captain, material in the middle. And he shackled Luka Modric in that World Cup against Croatia. You know that he didn't get a kick in, and he could have done exactly the same against Enzo if he was ready for, you know, the Chelsea games. And it's a weird combination between Caicedo and Enzo becoming Endo, right? We got him. Short for Hendo as well. Could go in many songs. Blimey, I'm single-handedly propping up the Liverpool merch presence in Japan. Even the shorts. And I bought the Anfield songbook. Now, as well as Endo being tenacious and aggressive and a very kind of dominant presence in centre midfield, one thing's very interesting about the way that he kind of dribbles with the ball. He's a little bit of a street baller, a little bit of a dirt baller. Do you remember one Luis Suarez? Good old Louis. The way that he can kind of jink at the last moment. It looks like he's lost control of the ball, and just at the last moment he nicks it either way, to beat the player. He's got that kind of street ball, dirt ball vibe to him. It's not the prettiest on the eye, but it's effective. He's not the best dribbler by any means, but he can get past the player, and he's technically proficient as well, so that lends itself well. And my current thoughts are, it's probably likely going to be Czech Doucouré coming in. I doubt it will be Amrabat. I have a bigger feeling for Doucouré or Paulinho. Now, João Paulinho, once again, he fits that mold of 28 in his prime, an absolute destroyer, statistical monster, right? He passes the eye test as well. He's quite technically proficient. Fulham will want a huge amount, no resale value, 28 years old. Similarly, Doucouré, he's a bit of a monster as well. He's a work in progress, he's quite young. I would pitch that Endo has almost as many appearances, if not starts, than either of these two players. I know he's not all flashy and glamorous last moment. Some people are saying desperation, Arthur Melo, you know, a loan signing or whatever to plug a gap. Kabak Ozan. No, he is actually part of the long-term plan, because you need these players in your squad who run through a brick wall for you, who's absolute tank, and he will actually bring that winning mentality, because he knows for a fact that this is almost his last chance saloon. He's got to win something. And, you know, Liverpool have the quality. And if Liverpool are going to scout you, right, obviously Liverpool scouts are better than you or me or anyone else. Actually, not better than me. I'm in Japan. I know Endo. Anyway, I think Doucouré will take some time to get up to speed, knowing the passing channels or where to go. Remember, he's still quite a relatively young player. He's had a season in Premier League already, playing for Crystal Palace, a completely different style of play. Think of it stylistically. Crystal Palace and Liverpool are the polar opposites. Long ball, wingers, one-on-one, send the crosses in, that kind of stuff, okay? Doucouré was player of the season, by the way, Crystal Palace. I'd still like him. Very, very good player. 60 million, 70 million is a high price. But that doesn't mean that he's worth more than Endo in his current time and place, because of the experience, the coolness, the nature, the technicality of Endo, what he can bring to the Liverpool team, okay? You could even play them together, holding to destroy teams and give someone real creative freedom, you know, a kind of floating playmaker, Costa or something like that, to really, really do the damage. Paulinho, I think, is the current better of the two, and you could really see him taking a game by the scruff of the neck and, you know, you shall not pass kind of thing. I would be a little bit disappointed with Sofiane Amrabat, because I think that the World Cup was the best he could be. He's a runner, a winning runner, but he's not desperate to move to Liverpool like Endo is, okay? Endo jumped on the first plane, we tracked his plane, we know he's in Merseyside right now. He's going to pass that medical today, get him signed. I wonder what shirt he'll wear, it'll be very interesting. I'm going to flat out say it right now. Endo is a better player than Romeo Lavia right now. Caicedo is miles better. Caicedo is actually a beast. It's unfortunate we didn't get him, but he's a bit of a mercenary. He'll probably flirt himself to Real Madrid, Barcelona in 2 years' time. Let's see what happens with that. Anyway, Romeo Lavia, technical player, Paras, grew up in the Man City Academy. Very good passing, athleticism, awareness of danger, can cover the field. But right now, he's had that one season with Southampton, a standout player. But, you know, they were under the cosh, being battered as well, so he has the chance to clean up. In a team that expects a lot more possession, a bit more progressive play, one touch and get the ball forward, Endo is a better player right now, right for the here and now, than Romeo Lavia. Lavia won't even play that much in Chelsea. He's going to be behind Caicedo. Conor Gallagher actually played quite well. Enzo will always start. They've got so many players in that midfield. And one very, very important note about this transfer. Relatively speaking, it's cheap as chips. What, 16 million euro-ish? We spent 110 million trying to chase Caicedo. We know we have money in the bank. That leaves the door open to not only another defensive midfielder or even a box-to-box midfielder like Kefren Turam, right? The centre-back comes back into play as well, because we have the budget for them if we find a target that Klopp actually likes. So when you're talking value for money, what they bring to the squad, how much they're going to contribute into the kind of backroom training and the kind of qualities of personality, Nagatomo came into Inter Milan and raised the professional standard, not just of the kind of etiquette of the dressing room, but the politeness and the respectfulness. They made a big deal about how Nagatomo brought some kind of inner zen and hard-working, humble mentality to the Inter Milan dressing room. People were even bowing to him and saying konnichiwa in the Italian league. Very nice, right? Speaking of which, the Japanese kind of professional athletes are massively on the rise. Mitoma, outstanding, but Naoya Inoue, the boxing, Destroyed Steve Fulton, right? And Kei Nishikori, tennis. And some of the golfing ladies as well. Very nice. By the way, Liverpool merch is beautiful. I've been showing off my Liverpool merch throughout this video and tagging a few. This Liverpool bag here holds my my anime goodies, and also some of the sporting goodies. What we got here? Sex Panthers. Wrong sport. But yeah, for all you Liverpool fans who didn't know about Wataru Endo, hopefully that gives you a bit of insight into someone who's been watching him for a long time, because we've been actually saying last year, Liverpool fans in Japan, which Japanese player could really suit Liverpool stylistically at the moment. And we were caught between two. Mitoma, obviously, left winger. We're overloaded there at the moment. Luis Diaz, Gakpo, Jota likes to play there as well. But Mitoma, silky, decision making on point. Silky, technical, genius, fast, deadly. But Endo came out as number 2. We wanted Endo. We really, really like Endo. He's our captain. He's like, Husha! Yeah, he'll put the samurai spirit back into Liverpool, and that's really, really needed, because Klopp won the Bundesliga with a Japanese player, Shinji Kagawa. He won the Premier League with a Japanese player, Takumi Minamino. We need that Japan vibe, and we need it now! Please subscribe if you like this content. I'll be making a lot more Liverpool videos coming soon. I know it's away from my usual content, but I love Liverpool, man. It's just about life in Japan with the Miyazaki man here, Miyazaki man Ichiban. Please give this video a like. Really, really helps this video beat the algorithm. Until next time, peace. Endo, looking forward to you signing soon. Yoroshiku ne.